तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि। Last time we were talking about types of karma. When the Shruti says kurvan neveha karmani jijivishet shatagum samaha, may you keep doing karma and may aspire to live 100 years of life. A human being performs 4 types of karma primarily. One is kamya karma, actions performed prompted by one's own desires, one's own will, one's own fancy, etc. They are called as kamya karma. Then another one is kartavya karma, the actions that are to be done, which he or she takes upon himself or herself, and this is what I should be doing. Like someone so committed to the office, I have to do that, I have to attend. That kind of attitude towards a given karma, a sense of binding, there is a sense of doership, sense of commitment to those karmas as a duty. That is called kartavya karma. Kamya karma, kartavya karma. Then comes pratishiddha karma, or these are the things which I don't do it. That also he or she decides. Like someone, I have to take care of my parents. I have to, the typical Indian joint family mindset, I have to take care of my entire family. And I will never ever take care, do anything beyond the first family. I shall not do. I shall do it. And the second one is, I shall not do it. That shall do out of sense of obligation upon. It's obligatory karma. And shall never do it. That is called nishiddha karma. Forbidden or abstained. This I will never do it. And last one is prayaschitta karma. Prayaschitta means some omissions and commissions. Something improper done by me, deliberately or inadvertently or out of a fit of some emotions. Something not done also, for whatever reason. As an antidote to that mistake is called prayaschitta. In a known English word is confession karma. You confess, I have committed this wrong, this. They call it a sin, But we say, let's be a little softer. I have done this is improper thing. That is price. Now, Shastra also gives these four karmas. Through our common sense or our own buddhi, we decide, and that's how we live. I'll do this, I will not do this. Society also gives in the name of manners and etiquettes and fashion and all those things, creates I have to do, wear this. In this party, I cannot go like this. That is a nishiddha. That is forbidden. And in this party, I have to go like this only. I have to eat like this only. I have to sit like this only. I have to talk like this only. All cultural. Certain manners. That somebody is there, you have to open the gate, car gate. If a woman is there, lady is there, this is to be done. Culture gives, nation gives, family, so many, even our friends give certain kamya karma, kartavya karma, nishiddha karma, prayaschitta karma, all that. And on the top of it, Shastra gives. Religion gives, theologies give. Like this, you must pray on Sunday or Friday or Monday, etc. This is a kartavya karma. You must do fasting because today is Ganesh Chaturthi. That is, and I take upon myself, yes, I must fast. That is kartavya karma. So now Shastra gives broadly two types of kartavya karma. Shastra never gives kamya karma. Never. It only shows you the connection between means and the end. If you do this karma, you may get this pleasure. If you do this karma, you may get this money or some security or whatever. Go to heaven or go to this loka, or you will have some more wealth, whatever they give. They don't say you do it. They just say by doing this, this is possible. Since desires are many and varied, the kamya sadhana sadhyas, the means and the ends here and hereafter are many, which are mentioned in the Shastra. Hereafter also there are ends. Going to heaven, going to Swargaloka, and then going to Brahmaloka, like that. So many karma phalas are talked about in the Shastra. It talks about, as I said, sadhana and sadhya, karma and karma phala. Accordingly, according to our own desires and fancies, we choose. I want to do this. I want to do that. Because I want to have the end, sadhya, out of this particular karma. Now, Shastra gives three karmas. Kartavya karma, nishiddha karma, and samprayaschitta. Anointment of mistake, you can say, confession, whatever, forgiveness. But not all. All kind of prayashittas are not mentioned in Shastra. They tell you that one must do these karmas. Then in kartavya karma, the to be done, there are two types. One, common sense kartavya karma. Values, as I mentioned last time. Do speak truth is a common sense kartavya karma. Be honest is a common sense kartavya karma. Never hurt anybody is a common sense. Nishiddha karma. Don't do that. Don't hurt. So that's a human being can figure out on the basis of simple logic. What I don't want others to do unto me, I don't do to them. What I want others to do unto me, I do it to them. I don't want others to tell lie, so I also don't tell lie. I want them to speak truth, so I speak truth. Simple. Certain kartavya karmas are given by the country, like income tax laws, sale tax laws, house tax, other taxes. They are kartavyas to be done. Those countries, kartavyas. But Shastra gives, along with this kartavya karma, though along with this common sense kartavya karma, what Shastra adds here is one more thing. That if you do this or if you don't do this, then you earn punya and papa. Something to be here and some result to be accrued later, which is unseen, adrishta. That's all Shastra adds. Otherwise, if Shastra says do the satyam vada, that is not the tatparya of the Shastra, because you should speak truth, that's it. But then, if you tell asatyam or if you tell satyam, then answer is, then speaking satyam will give you punya equivalent to ashwamedha yajna. That's what Shastra adds. Adrishta karma phalas. And if you hurt somebody, you will go to this loka where you will suffer hereafter. You will incur papam, that kind of thing. So, kartavya karma, first category is to be done. One category is common sense to be done. Like nation also gives, like traffic, simple, don't park here. If you park, ticket will come. And when there is red light, don't cross. Why you stop it? Because there is a camera. Then the ticket will come, fine will come. That's adrishtam. You have to pay later, not then and then. Immediate phalam is that you saved time and went away and you got there on time, whatever. But later on phalam is you have to pay. So also Shastra gives this, punya papa. In that kartavya karma, there are two categories. Or you can say three categories, but that's fine. Primarily two, to be done daily and to be done on certain time, in certain situation, at a certain place. What is to be done daily is called nitya kartavya. And what is to be done occasionally is called naimittikam kartavyam. There is some nimitta, in something incidental, time, place, situation, etc. Otherwise, you need not do it. Like fasting cannot be, not is, but fasting cannot be nitya karma. You cannot fast daily. But then, in India, you find on Ekadashi, people do Bhima Ekadashi especially, Nirjala. They don't even drink water. 24 hours, they fast. That is nimitta. What is the nimitta? That particular day is nimitta. Which day? This call it Ekadashi. And specifically, Bhima Ekadashi we call it. That is a Kala nimitta. Then situation nimitta. Suppose somebody has died in the family, then you perform your elders. Do Shraddha Karma on particular day. That is a nimitta. And he or she has died, so for 12 or 13 days you do certain prayers. That is again nimitta, caused by this. That is nimitta, situational. Place nimitta also. When you are at a certain place, even in day-to-day life also they have to do. If parents and children are staying separate, then they don't have to take care of the grandchildren. But if they move in with a son or a daughter for even for 15 days, 14 days, their grandchildren expect, those children expect, and of course parents also expect to spend time with the grandchildren. Why parents? Even Swamis have to do babysitting. When we stay with somebody, children come and tell, Swamiji, play games with me. Then I think over, should I play or not? If I want a sumptuous dinner, then I may better play. Just take it lightly. I'm just saying it. But it's a nimitta. That place you happen to be there, you happen to see somebody falling down on the road. And you may be in a hurry to move, but you help him. At least call the 108 and then put him to ambulance or help him out. Now, these are all common sense nimittas. Shastra, and these are all common sense nitya karmas to be done daily. Like in a modern example is doing exercise, especially in a corona times, lockdown time. Because people, I have come across at least half a dozen fellows who have put up a lot of weight in corona times, There's nothing to do, keep eating. So this becomes another nimitta that you do exercise regularly. They become very, in this, today only there was a news in India, the stock exchange, got some 20, 30 millions extra clients who are investing in stocks on demand. Because at home, nothing to do, and you can invest and buy and sell stock on the computer. That's a nimitta situation. Now, this Shastrik nimitta is no doubt Desha Kala Sanjog Vastu is there, but depending upon, in one word is Varnashrama. Varna means your disposition and your position. Varna primarily means mental disposition. And that disposition is based on composition. Composition of three gunas of Maya, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And that composition is based on your karma phalas. If you are a Brahmana, that means the composition, you are born as a Brahmana because of karma phala, and composition is you are predominantly Sattvika. And being Sattvika, you naturally love knowledge, natural commitment to penance, natural commitment to Ishvara. These are all the natural tendencies. This is a Brahmana. If you are a Kshatriya, then Shaurya, prowess, desire to rule, this is all natural. This fearlessness is natural. So these Varnas were there because today, in those days, society was in that structure. Today, it doesn't work. Okay? But on the basis of the disposition, they give karma. And basis on your position, Brahmacharya ashrama, Grihastha ashrama, Vanaprastha ashrama, and Sannyasa. And in that position also, It varies. If you are a father, then this is your karma. If you are a husband, this is your karma. If you are a wife, this is your karma. If you are a niece or nephew or whatever, this is your karma. These are all Vishishta, Naimittika karma and Vishishta Nitya karmas. That Shastra gives. One of them, or those karma, Naimittika karma, last time I talked about three runam, Devaruna, Pitruruna and Rishi. You know, I explained to you this karmas, obligatory duty, kartavya karmas are given with only two objectives. One, you are a receiver. And human child is a receiver and only receiver for longest time. And even when you start becoming contributing, you still continue to be receiving. I started earning, I started doing, but then you keep receiving. What? Simple, the milk for a cup of tea. Animal kingdom is contributing. Plant kingdom is contributing. So, since I have been a receiver, as a sense of gratitude or acknowledgement, I have to do these three runa daily. And like any other natural force or animals, they are contributing their own part, whatever is to be done, to maintain the harmony in the universe. So also, I perform certain karmas in the sense of maintaining the harmony, kartavya karmas. Okay? Obligatory duties out of sense of gratitude, acknowledging my indebtedness and repaying whatever little I pay, and be a contributor to this Srishti Chakra, this cycle of harmony. In that, there is one more point also. Our Shastra adds, that's unique to our Dharma, that while I survive, I end up doing a lot of hinsa. Two values are very much emphasized in our Shastras. One is Satyam and second is Ahimsa. In fact, a sadhu takes a vow of Ahimsa, lives a life of Ahimsa. They talk of that. But then, for my survival, you end up doing some Himsa. You end up hurting or killing something directly or indirectly. Like one modern example, you take some medicine, but any medicine that is available before clinical trials, it is applied or tested on animals. That's how protocol is. So you cannot avoid that himsa. Or you travel at night, all those insects and bugs get killed on your car's front glass. They see the light and they come and they almost smashed on the car. There is some himsa. Cleaning the house is himsa. Applying pesticides is himsa. It is inevitable. Our Jain Dharma tries to minimize this himsa. Even drinking water is himsa. Because you do RO plant. More so in Corona, everybody drinks hot water now. That is himsa. When you heat up the water, certain bacteria get killed. So there is always there. And Jainas therefore have a covering, mask. They have been wearing masks, but different type. This our mask is covered all the sides, four sides. And they are simple, which is open little down below. Sometimes on the sides also. Only front is covered just to avoid some himsa. And this is, you see, this is human being. You have to cover how many varieties of mask. I'm really waiting. I'm going to get a designer mask. I never have had a designer cloth, you know, not designer t-shirts. So I'm waiting what it would be. I mean, I'm a little curious about it. Somebody has, out of love, has sent me designer's masks. My prarabdha being what it has not reached so far since 4 weeks. It has not reached. But then you create and then you want a matching mask. I was really, I mean, amused to know about 3 weeks ago, exactly 3 weeks ago. One of my students told me, I said, how many types of masks people wear? Swamiji, you don't know. I said, what? Then tell me, enlighten me on modern society. I said. Then she says, when we buy the dress, girl's dress, kurta pajama, we get dupatta also. Now matching mask also they give. So it is all full matching. Anyway, so they tried to minimize speaking. Traditionally, they had firewood, kuttani, peshani, chulli, etc. Cooking, burning firewood is killing. So, anyway, coming back to this, our survival involves some himsa. So, Shastra gives certain prayaschitta karmas, panch yajnas to be performed daily as a as a as a prayashchittam to this nitya himsa and naimittik himsa also. Just for information, when we build house, we build house and then we stay in to make home. Okay, we have to make it home. But when we build house, there is a naimittik himsa. Some himsa we end up doing. First of all, what is first himsa? First of all, we take away that piece of land which was meant for certain plants and animals and insects and bugs. You're taking away. You're depriving of their habitations. You're pushing them out, knowingly or unknowingly. It is inevitable. You need a place to stay. And you have a place, but they get pushed. I remember even Rishikesh and here both. While I was there in Rishikesh for 2 years, 83, 84, my God, in monsoon, in this season, I have seen varieties and varieties of snakes in Rishikesh and scorpions. This size onwards, so huge one on the Ganges. Even when I moved to Rajkot in this place, 93, I used to come here since 84, but when 84 end, after Rishikesh, I moved little settle Ahmedabad, Rajkot. But when I came here and bought this land, here were so many snakes. One cobra lived right behind this wall in my kutia for almost 6-7 years. It was staying there. And we used to pass by. And so we were quite friendly. They knew, okay, he's our, our neighbor. So he was kind enough not to bother me. They were, once just across behind this, government built a road. That's a new ring road. And so much of traffic is there, slowly increasing. No snake. We hardly see a snake here. Though there are few farms here, but it is not there. Like snakes, so many insects, so many bugs, we take away the land. So many, even the weeds, what we call. Listen, look at this. We thought weeds means useless. It is to be removed. But when I had have the cows, and one of the very senior doctor, one of the best in Saurashtra, he told us, Swamiji, send them for grazing in this farm. He said, why? We are giving them green grass and a fairly good quality. We are supplementing it with some food grains and things like that and giving dry grass. He says, no. In these weeds, there are 68 types of nutrients which cow require. 68. Even drinking milk, some himsa will take place. You cannot avoid it. Survival means some himsa. So in kartavya karma, Shastra gives certain prayashchit also. Do this. You do this, must do that, etc. So, one of them is, as I said, yajnas, panchayajnas. That's why the one of the form our Indian friends will understand. They must have seen. We feed before we take meal or whatever, when they cook, we feed the cows and the dogs first. To feed to cow. To feed to dogs. That is a daily to be done. That is called Bhut Yajna, Nru Yajna, Yajna or for animals. It's a prashchitta or a contribution, whatever you take it. Even now there is a custom in almost all villages in India. Though all the villages don't follow that. But the custom is the seniormost person of the home, uncle or whoever, will take food grains and there is a bird feeder, huge bird feeder, village bird feeder. About 1,000 birds can stay and live and then feed. They put the grains over there. It's a kartavya karma, part of a bhut yajna. Now, so Shastra gives three types of kartavya: nitya, naimittika, to be done on Sunday, some days, and some of them. I mean, there are again two categories. One is a contributory, and one is acknowledging my indebtedness. And the third one is prayashchittam to that, in nitya karmas itself. Some nitya contributory karmas, nitya acknowledgement karmas, like offering argyam to Surya Devata, is a nitya karma. And doing this bhut yajna is nitya prayashchitta, nitya obligatory in a sense of acknowledging my indebtedness, and contributory to the cycle. There are three types of kartavya karmas in both nitya and naimittika, both. So when Shastra says kurvan neveha karmani jijivishet shatagum samaha, that karma word doesn't mean kamya karma, doesn't mean pratishiddha karma, doesn't mean prayashchitta. It means kartavya karma. Do this. And when it says do this, okay, but there is an attitude also. If that is there, evam tvai nanyatetosti na karma lipyate nare. And other than this, there is no way. How A situation demands what I should be doing. And a situation is ordained by the Lord. That means Lord wants me to do. Bhagavan wants me to do this. So do karma as an offering to Ishvara. As a way as fulfilling the wish of Ishvara. Or do karma with a desire, with the attitude that I am doing this to please Ishvara. May you be happy. Ishvara prityarthe idam aham karomi. I am doing this for Ishvara priti. That means, listen this sentence carefully. First, do karma. May you aspire to live 100 years. That jijivisha is natural. No one wants to die. So have it. But then two things. One, you have to perform your karmas. Kartavya karma. And while performing those karmas, perform them in the awareness of Ishvara. That means your karma itself becomes bhakti. Any bhakti is nothing but any action done in the awareness of Ishvara is bhakti. Even cleaning, vacuuming the carpet. But when you vacuum the carpet of the temple, there is a different awareness. And a person is doing vacuum on the airport. There is awareness of the salary, awareness of the paycheck. It's not awareness of Ishvara. So, converting action with the attitude of awareness of Ishvara is the means. Other than that, there is no means. That karma will not bind you. Evam tvayi nanyatetosti na karma bhir lipyate nare. Other than that, there is no means, and this such when performed thus, na lipyate. You are not bound by karmas. On the contrary, this attitude will release you or will take you to the path of release from the bondage of karma and karma phala. Having said this, now there is a third mantra. Okay? Now, these three mantras are addressed to three types of persons. The first mantra is to adhikari, to mumuksha, desire of moksha. Or in English we can just say generic word, a seeker. One who is committed to moksha, one who wants moksha, to him it is said, this is moksha. What is moksha? Ishavasyam idams. That's a upadesha. So commit yourself to Shravana Manana Nidhyasana and own up this vision. Vasyam idam sarvam. May you own up this fact. May you own up this vision. That's what teaching is. The second mantra, what we saw, is to a discriminative person, a viveki. Or you can say, person who uses his will, his discretion, his wisdom, his or her wisdom or common sense, to that person, that may you commit to dharma. This person is not a seeker. He is not interested in moksha. There is no desire, there is no vairagya, etc. Nothing is there. Just a simple discriminative person, viveki. To that person it is said that you should do dharma. Means a person who is committed to dharma. First mantra is a person who is committed to moksha, who wants moksha. This fellow is committed to dharma. Out of there are two dharmas, Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma. I told you. Committed to Samanya Dharma out of simple common sense. I know in India there are so many. This is we have to do. Very ethical, very honest, very committed, very truthful, but no bhakti, no going to temple, no sandhya vandanam. No, 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 I don't believe in this. This is my Bhagavan. That's what they say. And they have this one other phrase, Swamiji, work is worship. Idiot, work becomes worship provided you work in the awareness of Ishvara. Otherwise, it doesn't become worship, you know. But anyway, they are there. This kind of discriminative people. Dharma pradhanya. And if there is astha in Shastra, etc., then there is a punya papa shraddha. They are afraid of papam and they may have some kamna for punya or value for it. And therefore, to them, this second mantra. Just by the way, Arjuna is a Viveki. He is afraid of papa. The first chapter, if you see, the grief or desire not to fight is not born out of fear of defeat or death. There is a fear of papa. Aho bat mahat papam kartum vyavasitavayam. Yadrajya sukha lobhena hantum svajana mudyata, etc. etc. There are so many shlokas there. Narake niyatam vaso kulagnanam kulasya cha, etc. Narak, papa bhaya. Now the third mantra is addressed, Shastra talks about the third person who is neither committed to moksha nor committed to dharma, but only to arthakama. Wants security and wants pleasure. He or she thinks that I don't need moksha. This is moksha. I don't need punya papa. This is because after all punya is for sukham and I have sukham here. The person may not say this, but then the priorities of life, the time investment in different pursuits, if you analyze, 90 to 95% of the time, energy, and resources are invested only in artha and kama. Nothing else. Earning money and spending it to enjoy. And that is me and my family. Almost nil socializing. Almost nil responsibilities. They have to be on their own. I am on my own. I earn money. I have right to spend. This aviveki, they are called. Human being should be viveki, meaning thereby human being should be committed to dharma. There is a vakya, Sharira Madhyam Khalu Dharma Sadha. This body is predominantly or primarily is a means for dharma. Third mantra talks about gati of this avivekina. I will not call them adharmika, but I would say avivek, indiscriminative persons. What is their lot after death? Or what is their lot here also? And in that, Shruti shows it is a ninda, censure, thereby telling us don't be like this. Okay? Shruti is neither addressing something to them, do this and don't do that, nor glorifying them. On the contrary, it is censuring them. Or you can say it is telling us what will be their fate here and hereafter. That is what Shruti tells. Okay? Now, with this introduction, look at the third mantra. Asurya namate lokaha. Asurya namate lokaha. Andhena tamasavrutaha. Andhena tamasavrutaha. Tamste pretyabhigachanti. Tamste pretyabhigachanti. ये के चात्महनो जनाः ये के चात्महनो जनाः असूर्या नाम ते लोकाः अन्धेन तमसावृताः तांस्ते प्रेत्याभिगच्छन्ति ये के चात्महनो जनाः तांस्ते प्रेत्याभिगच्छन्ति ये के चात्महनो जनाः. Once more time together, whole mantra. Asurya namate lokaha andhena tamasavrutaha tamste pretyabhigachanti ये के चात्महनो जनाः. Asurya namate lokaha. Nam is a just indeclinable word here, named or called. Asurya namate lokaha. What are those worlds? Lokaha means those worlds of Asuraha. We'll explain all these words. Those worlds of Asuraha, andhena tamasa vrutaha. They are covered by blinding darkness. Asurya namalokaha andhena tamasa vrutaha. That's a prose order. Those worlds of Asura are covered with blinding darkness. Te gachanti. Those fellows go there. Okay? Who are those fellows? Asurya namate lokaha andhena tamasa vrutaha. And when do they go there? It says pretyabhigachanti. Those fellows after death, after giving up this body, or when they depart from the body, they go there. Some people go to this the lokas of asuras after death, that when they give up this body. Okay? Who are they? Te gachanti. Who? Ye atmahano janaha. Those are who killed the self. Killer of the self. Who have killed the self, they go there. That means, ye atma, the prose order is, ye atmahano janaha pretya gachanti, where andhena tamasa vrutaha asurya namate lokaha tatra gachanti. Those fellows, ye atma hano janaha, those who have killed the self killers, go to After death, when they give up the body, they go to these lokas of asuras, which are blinded with darkness. Okay, this is the prose order. While introducing the Shastra, while giving the introduction of Ishavasya Upanishad, I had told you, you need a teacher to study the Shastra. See, it is very vivid here. Ishavasya Upanishad is a classic example. You cannot take literal meaning of the words, and you have to interpret the mantra in a contextual way. And, and then you have to interpret the meanings of the context in the holistic, keeping the holistic vision. So to understand this Asurya Loka, to understand Atmahano Janaha, killers of the self, typical English translator fellow planted by Britishers would say these Upanishad rishis are contradicting themselves. They say Atma is not subject to birth and death. Na jayate na mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya, etc., etc. Self is like this, never born, never dies. And nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, nachainam kledayantyapah, na shoshayati marutaha. The weapons cannot cut asunder. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka. Fire cannot burn, that is self. How can you kill self? Here you are telling Atmahanaha Janaha, those persons who have killed the self. Therefore, it's just a prattling of rishis. It's self-contract. It is not so. As I said to you, you have to see this in the holistic context. You cannot take literal meaning. And therefore, you need somebody who has a vision of whole. And that person has to tell you the meaning. And then you can see the whole. But if you go piece by piece, you may find it contrary. And it is not that mantra we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.